Let me show you how we can quickly add persistence to an AngularJS application without creating backend services. In order to do that, I will use Firebase backend as a service and their AngularFire library for integration with AngularJS applications. And to save us time on building front end, we will use infamous TodoMVC application. So we'll go to AngularJS source code, clone it, and open it in web store. The application is very simple. It consists of the index HTML file that contains the markup and includes AngularJS library and a bunch of internal JavaScript files. Then we have the application app.js file, which is pretty much empty. There are directives for handling focus, blur, and pressing of escape. And there is to-do storage, which is using browser's local storage for local on the client persistence, and to-do controller that contains all the logic. So let's see what this application does. We can add more to-do items. We can mark items as completed, and we can remove items. That's pretty much it. And if I open this URL in a different browser, then of course this instance of this application is empty because there is no backend, so this is expected. So let's add persistence. First of all, we will remove the local storage as we don't need it anymore, and we will remove it from controller. Storage. So now let's add integration. Let's add integration with Firebase. So in order to do that, we will go to the Firebase Quick Start guide here. Quick Start. We need to add links to Firebase JavaScript libraries. I will add them to the HTML file at the end. They have to be included after Angular because they will be using Angular objects. Then the next step would be to add dependency to the Firebase to our application here. Then we need to bind the model to Firebase controller. So first of all, I will inject. I will go to controller and will inject AngularFire module, and I will copy paste this code snippet. So here I need to replace this with my URL of my Firebase. I have a Firebase account, circtitles.firebase.io. So I replace this with circtitles.firebase.io, and instead of this, to-do. Then here we are binding to to-dos. Array in the scope of our model. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The only thing that we also need to do is we need to replace this local variable that we used before with the reference to scope.todos. I will do I believe that's it. Let's try to open and see. 1, 2, 3. So the application works, and let's see what happens now if I open it in another window. Open them side by side, and as you can see, it picked up the data. So now when I add new data here, in this instance, it's reflected here, and the same goes the other way around. I can remove items, and the changes are immediately reflected in this instance. Same goes for the other way around. So what happens is AngularFire not only saves data in Firebase, it also sends notifications to all the client applications and synchronizes data between them. It's actually very similar to the way that the two-way data binding works in AngularJS between the view and the model, but now it happens between the server and the client. And we can even open the Firebase console itself here, and as you can see, if I add new items in the browser, they are immediately reflected in the console. And if I make changes in the console, say remove 6, it disappears from the browser. You can also change this to true, and as you can see, this item is marked as selected, is marked as complete. And same here, I completed these items and they changed here. So this is really nice, and to achieve all of this, we did not have to write any backend code at all. We did not write almost any front-end code, just these 3 lines. We did not create any REST servers. We did not have to consume them on the clients and socket.io notification or any other WebSocket notifications, process notifications. It's really cool.